Fine. We were a bunch of super dorks with no friends. We spent all day hiding out in our rooms, reading books that were maybe a little inappropriate.
Hello and welcome to Who Let Me Read This, the podcast where a group of human beings relive the sometimes terrible books of their young adulthood of the 80s and 90s and why on earth they were allowed to read them.
Human beings and one sexy chick.
I haven't decided on my grouping yet. We'll fit me in there. Welcome back, everybody, to Who Let Me Read This. We are continuing our evaluation, critique, review.
Unpacking
Of My Sweet Audrina by V.C. Andrews. With us today, we have Michelle White, Sarah Wallish, Mandy Veeder, and Andrea Radel Schrader. I'm going to get it right every time from now on, and you can just kick me under the table if I ever get it wrong. Thanks. My name is Laura Holterman. I will be moderating this intense discussion that we're going to be having here today. Previously, if you missed our first episode, we started to really cover the plot points that are highlighting My Sweet Audrina. Audrina's wrestles with time and space and being hidden away from the world are really big focuses there. But now just continuing to dive into the amazing story of all the fun things her dad's doing. Pretty
highlighting is a choice. I would say perhaps low lighting. There's no highlights in this one.
Gaslights.
Gaslights. Plenty of those. Lots of gaslights.
The gaslights. And so Miss Mandy Veeder, who had nominated this book from a special place in her childhood, will be taking us through our plot overview today, and then we're gonna dive in a little bit as to how this book was brought to her attention and the fun ways that it colored our childhood. All right, Mandy, take it away.
All right, I'm gonna take it home. So Audrina's mother has died in childbirth. Which is very, very, very sad, considering I think a couple days before her death, she had taken Audrina aside and said, you know what, this is kind of, I'm paraphrasing, this is kind of bullshit. I'm going to let you have your childhood. I'm going to help you sneak out when you're a teenager and do all the things normal kids do. This is going to happen. And then she dies. So the whole house is understandably under a huge depression. Baby Sylvia has not been brought home yet. She was born at 6 months. She's hideously premature.
Such a great phrase.
Yeah. Audrina decides that she is going to take after her mother and learn the piano because she had a memory of her mother teaching her piano, and she's like, I'm going to hold on to this memory. This is mine. No one can take it away from me. And God love her. She says, no man is going to stop me from becoming a world-class pianist, and I wish that's where the book ended, but it doesn't.
Yeah, no. Spoiler alert, no.
So her father relents, and Arden, her boyfriend, guy who's like really obsessed with this child, obsessed with this child. It'd be fair to say he's very obsessed with her. He's very lovesick. Takes her to piano lessons in the village to learn piano from Mr. Lamar Ramsdale.
The names in this book are all so good.
His eyes are dreamy, his hair is dark, and he is so hairy.
I have so much to say about that. I took screenshots of the Kindle, I downloaded the book on Kindle and I took screenshots. I will be reading passages. Buckle up.
So she finds out that she's naturally gifted at piano, and after coming home after her first couple lessons, Vera asks about how they're going, and Audrina inadvertently lets out that Lamar is a bit of a ride visually. He's very attractive.
Oh, he's a ride, all right.
I've never heard that term before, but I'm gonna use it.
I stole it from Dairy Girls. And Vera's like, I could take piano. Also, I'm gonna be talented.
It's kind of a running theme because doesn't Vera also become friends with Arden throughout the book as well?
She wants everything Audrina has in every possible way.
In really specific, uncomfortable ways.
In very uncomfortable ways. So Vera they both begin taking piano lessons together. Vera doesn't take it so seriously as Audrina. This is more or less like her way to flirt inappropriately with Mr. Runsdale, and to his credit, like, he rebuffs for a while but not for any noble reason. It's because he's only got eyes for Audrina.
Did I miss that?
It's he never fully goes out and says it, but there are like little things, like he does a lot of hair touching with her, a lot of like back
I messed up, man.
rubs. But
I missed that too.
It's like a plausible deniability kind of situation where he like.
See, I just thought
He
he
could
thought she was a good piano player.
Dear sweet Michelle.
That is a whole other podcast that we're going to set aside.
That's our
Next
minute with
month
Michelle.
on My Sweet Michelle
My sweet
by
Michelle.
VC Andrews or Andrew Needlemeyer. What is his name?
Everyone needs therapy.
Niederman.
All right, moving on.
And it becomes more obvious because eventually Lamar does give in to Vera's advances when she's of the mature age of 14.
Hard pass.
Audrina.
Okay, but like, are any of them actually the age that they say they are?
I think they get more concrete about time after Lucky dies.
Yeah.
Although, and you'll find out later, Audrina's about a year behind consistently until the end of the book. So Audrina catches them in the act. And one of the things where
We'll
I think
read passages from that.
we'll read passages. And the thing that makes me think, like, no, he for sure had designs on Audrina is to, and this is so disgusting, to get him going. Vera imitates Audrina's voice.
Oh.
yeah.
Yes. So while this is happening, at home, Elsbeth, Audrina's aunt, seems to be getting along a lot better with Damien.
Really well.
Really well. Damien also relents and finally sends Audrina to school. Not the same school as Vera, which I think is an important thing to say, but a private school, I think, in the city. Where she starts, I think, 4th grade. So, like, things are starting to get normal. She's allowed to express herself artistically. She's getting an education.
She does say she feels older than everyone, though.
And that's
Yeah.
important.
Wink.
And then, so she's back at school. Vera, we find out, is pregnant, or so she claims.
Oh, but also Vera has what is it called?
Oh,
Brittle bone disease.
thank you for reminding me. Brittle bone disease is like the layman's terms osteogenesis imperfecta, or OI. If you are, my brother has.
She got
this,
them bad
so
bones. She got bad bones.
So she is, and I didn't mention this before. I'm sorry, breaking her bones constantly, which, considering the very, very rough sex passage that Audrina kind of sees, I don't understand how.
Yeah, she's like breaking her bones from like looking at something wrong throughout the
Yeah.
whole book, and then is like, just kidding, rough sex is okay for my brittle bones.
Like, I just.
Priorities.
I don't understand.
Even her bones have them.
Yeah, I don't understand how her pelvic bone isn't collapsing like a ganache when she's with Lamar.
That's an image. It's an image and a half right there.
I think that says a lot about Lamar. Sorry, buddy. But anyway.
But he has a 9-inch
9-inch penis, 9 inches stabbing.
It's
Stabbing.
Stabbing is exactly the word that is used.
Not my words.
Absolutely the word that they use.
Oh, VC.
So Vera says that she's pregnant. She implies that it could be Lamar's, but it could also be Arden's. Vera has a fight with her mother about this, and around the time of the fight, she miscarries in about the most graphic way possible.
Oh yeah, we'll talk more about that.
And we will talk more about that because it's on more than one of our what the fuck moments
Yes.
of the book. So she runs away to New York with Lamar.
I do have to say, of all the things with Vera, she's a mess on like 15 levels. But her flair for the dramatic is admirable because I love that she declares, like, I'm going to run away. I'm 16. I'm going to run away to the city, and I'm going to announce to everybody that they can have White Fern's daughter.
Yeah.
Like, all right, I respect her flair. She's got it down.
Extra, come get your white fern girls. Yes, I do love that dramatic bitch.
And, like, she's got her nails filed to points. That comes up several times, which is just goals, really.
Scratching. Yeah. So, and
Team Vera.
Yes, Team Vera in certain aspects. I have to say, like, it gets kind of a blur after this because after she leaves for about like 50 to 100 pages, this book gets boring.
Yeah, Vera does bring the drama.
She does.
That's the part of the book they used for the Lifetime movie. It was like just that part.
Yeah. But, and Sylvia's home. Yes. Sylvia gets brought back around the age of 2. And she...
An unspecified disability.
Unspecified disability. There's some cognitive and orthopedic disabilities going on clearly, and she's brought back, and Papa makes it very clear that you begged and you begged and you begged like she's a puppy. You begged for her to come home. Now she's on you, effectively trapping her.
And she's, where are we in the timeline? She's like 12?
I would, 12.
12?
12.
Cool, 12-year-old mom. Awesome.
A 12-year-old mom and caretaker.
Awesome.
Because Elsbeth says, like, I don't want anything to do with that. She's like, I think it's wrong that you're doing this to Audrina, but also, I'm not going to help either.
Hey, boundaries.
Boundaries. So time passes on, and Audrina decides, that she really needs to escape the house. And
Is Elspeth still alive at this point?
Oh, yes.
For now.
I almost skipped to the wedding when I forgot about Elsbeth and the first of the stair falls. Thank you.
Victim 1 of 4?
So here's what happens. Elsbeth finds out that Lamar is dead and Vera is alone in New York City, so she wants to go and rightfully wants to make up for Vera's hideous childhood by going to be with her. And the night before she leaves, her and Damien have a huge fight, but he ends up cutting her a check to take with her to the city. The next day, Elsbeth is found dead on the bottom of the stairs. Her neck is broken, and the check is missing.
What?
What? So skipping from that is around the time that some time passes and Audrina is like, I need to leave. She's getting older. I think she's about 17 at this point.
All the ages end in question marks in this book.
Yeah.
It's a
17
mess.
question mark.
I just used the age of Sylvia because they keep telling you how old Sylvia is because she's 5 at this time.
Oh.
Nice. Okay. So 12 plus 3, so she's 15.
Okay. Okay.
Is this when we meet Billy?
Oh, we've already met
We've
Billy.
met Billy.
It's all a blur.
I have a WTF about Billy, so.
Yeah. Billy, by the way, for those listening and haven't read this, is Arden's mother. She, for the first part of Audrina's memory of her, just kind of stayed in the little cabin in the woods that she rented, wouldn't come out, wouldn't invite Audrina into the house, and you find out it's because Billy does not have legs. She's a double amputee. She used to be like a Olympic figure skater
Yeah.
who is also diabetic and she fell on the ice and got her leg punctured by a bobby pin, and from that they had to
That's some physics.
cut them both off.
Bobby pin.
Yeah, how did
leg.
I have some questions about like how both legs ended up having to be amputated
I
from.
thought it was the diabetes.
Well, yeah, that's why she got infected.
Yeah,
that's
but
why they
like,
got infected. Yeah.
how did the infection travel from one leg to the other,
VC Andrews magic.
not through any other
Hand
part
wave.
of her body?
There's a lot of that.
Listeners/watchers who are medical experts, we really do invite you to explain this to us.
Weigh in on this. Don't weigh in
Yeah.
on the whole morgue thing.
Don't
Yeah, we don't want to know about that.
I don't
That's
want to know
gross.
about the morgue. I do want to know about VC Andrews, what seems to be a very limited range of medical expertise.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, she did not have Google.
This is true. We would have gotten very different books if VC Andrews had Google.
Yeah.
I have a feeling they would somehow be worse.
I feel like she took, because she has a dedication at the beginning of the book to this man who helped her understand the stock exchange. So I feel like that part
That's
was
what they call it.
pretty. I'm not.
Oh yeah, Audrina's dad is a stockbroker.
He's a stockbroker, and like
which is not mentioned until it becomes like a very integral part of the plot.
yeah.
There is a weird section that's very heavily stock focused.
It's one of those writers you do a research thing and then you explain every aspect of that thing, like not unlike Christopher Pike.
Who's next?
Who is next? Foreshadowing. Anyway, so Audrina, getting back, runs off with Arden to get married. The wedding night does not go well.
Shocker.
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 Arden has a hard time reading the room.
Understatement of the year.
Not understand why, like maybe if your wife is spending like several hours in the bathroom, nervously getting ready and kind of cringing at your touch, like maybe it's kind of time to ease into the physical aspect or like figure out if that's something that is even going to be a part of your marriage. And considering Arden's, I'd say, complicity in something that happened in the past, it's very baffling that the wedding night went on the way that it did.
Yeah, Arden sucks. I'm going to say that like 15 times through this. Arden sucks.
He does.
Yeah.
It's true.
She's not into it. And he does not notice that she's not into it. So they come back, and while they were gone, Damien had Billy moved into the house from the little cottage. And Billy, who's like spent years hearing about this girl's fucked up relationship with her family, especially her father, is like, oh, IDK, like, I think you were wrong about Damien. He's so nice and charming. I love him.
You must have misunderstood.
I love him, and
have
also I love doing all his
misunderstood.
housework and making sure everything is just right for him. And
So, yeah, she's moved in. And surprise, surprise, she starts a physical relationship with
like you do.
Damien, like you do.
Michelle's face. Oh no.
Say
By the
Michelle.
way, I'll talk about that later. But she gets around on a stool that she pushes herself around on. 'Cause she
Yeah,
said
like a
she
little
has
cart.
like a little
She has a
cart.
little
that
cart.
she
Cart,
uses,
yeah.
In
Which
case people are
comes into play
wondering how
later.
she's doing all the housework.
Yeah. And also, this becomes important. Sylvia is obsessed with her little red cart.
Yes.
Obsessed. But Audrina finds out about the relationship. She's not thrilled. And she has a fight with Billy. And then they make up because I think she kind of sees like her dad's a little different with Billy. And then the book picks up the pace tremendously because our girl comes home.
Yes, Vera.
Welcome home, Vera, my
And she's got a
eyes
sweet
overlaid.
hat.
She's got this sweet hat with like feathers and like a mink stole. Like she just comes back in like the most.
So it is
like,
set in the
Vera
70s.
way. I think it's about the 70s now. Like they're starting
That
to
check bought her a nice hat.
Right?
and it's I'm kind of going off of what the Castile Kids Stole My Groceries Tumblr, where they said, I'm paraphrasing, Vera drove a man insane, shrugged, and got her nursing degree.
Yes.
And then decided to come home.
Yeah.
And so she's home, and Audrina's withdrawing more from Arden, especially after, dun, 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 Billy mysteriously falls down the stairs.
Stairs victim number 2.
Stairs victim number 2. Could it have been Sylvia who wanted the red cart? I don't know. Could it have been Damien for some reason?
Probably.
Because he's.
I blame
an
everything on
abusive jerk.
Davian.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Audrina and Arden drift apart, and then that's where Vera kind of swoops in with her ways, and her and Arden start a relationship.
Vera was only allowed to stay because she broke her leg again, by the way.
Yes.
Damien did not want her there, and he said you can stay for Thanksgiving, and then she broke her leg and had to stay longer.
Yes.
Yeah, if you
On
read this,
purpose?
don't make a drinking game based on Vera's various appendage breaking because you will die.
So speeding it up, Audrina doesn't really care about their affair until Arden comes and like confronts her about it. And then they make passionate love that she's into. And that's cool. Like she for the first time
Suddenly.
she's into it. And then she goes for a little walk in the middle of the night as one does, and she is pushed down the stairs.
Number 3.
She's in a coma.
Third victim of the stairs.
Third victim of the stairs. She's in a coma, but she can hear everything that's going on,
Because it's that kind of coma.
and she can hear Vera plotting to pull the plug on her, even though like Vera can tell that she's like kind of coming to. And then Sylvia helps Audrina escape once Sylvia kind of figures out that Audrina's up and running, and so she helps her escape, helps her hide the day that Vera's basically coming. She's pulled the cord, then probably leaving to go, I'm assuming, to get like a poison or something to come
think
back.
she's
I
like
assumed
establishing
she
an
was
alibi.
leaving to like
Just let her die.
Yeah.
bone her husband.
Well, she did in the room. They did it like in the room.
in front of her.
Yes. And
She's in a coma. She won't notice.
Her and Sylvia. Cool.
so
Sylvia's always in the corner.
that's
Even on
right.
their wedding, she was in like another room.
just chilling. Anyway, so Damien finds Audrina.
Under the bed of the first Audrina's bedroom.
But there was no first Audrina. Because we find out Audrina was the first Audrina. Always.
There's only one.
And
first Audrina.
to confirm this, she runs to the grave of the first Audrina, digs
I'm
it
gonna
out,
dig it up.
digs it out with her hands.
Does she actually dig it all the way out?
Well,
She gets partway through, and then Arden comes, and things get even weirder somehow.
And then they have sex on her grave, as one does. And then she comes back,
That's where True Blood got it.
and her father have a discussion about the rape. And you find out more things, and Audrina has this flash of Vera telling her, like, oh, wear this specific dress when you do this. Take this specific
Vera.
path to the woods. And you find out not only was she the first Audrina, but Vera orchestrated her gang rape.
It's the only thing I will not
Forget.
excuse
Yeah.
that I will not
And,
forgive Vera for.
Arden saw it and ran away.
And Arden saw it and ran away.
Never
so-
told her ever.
Great. Yeah.
And then, so Damien goes after Vera. Vera misjudges because one of her legs is longer than the other, and she trips over her thing, and she, what happens? Falls down the stairs.
Fourth one. And they have that put up a baby gate. Or
Maybe
anything.
like some bumpers. I loved the description of her pinballing down the stairs too.
Yes.
Really graphic.
Really beautiful. And then she dies in Arden's arms. And Audrina's like, oh, fuck this. I'm going to leave. Oh, wait. Sylvia won't come with me. Oh, wait. Something bad might happen to Papa.
Oh no!
Just kidding. I'm staying. The end.
Okay, but can we all agree that all of us,
Audrina.
except for Laura, threw this book at some point?
I did.
Oh,
Yes.
absolutely. So many times.
And that's only because you were listening on Audible. Did you angrily turn it off at any point?
I fell asleep with it playing once, and that was really fucked up. I woke up. I was like, Papa? What?
Papa, don't push me down the stairs.
Because I definitely like threw it at the end when she was like, "I'm staying." I was like, "No."
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this book incurred a lot of violence.
In general.
Yeah.
Which actually takes us to our next point, and we're going to dive into this for the first for a few more minutes. I would love to go around and have everyone share our favorite what the fuck moments from this book.
Okay.
And we'll use that to wrap up this episode and head into next week as well. So hang on to those feelers if we don't get to you guys on any of those. Is there anyone who is particularly passionate about their favorite what the fuck moments? Otherwise, I'm happy to kick this off.
Why don't you go?
Fabulous. There was one. It's not as traumatic as the rest of them. It's truly just like a what the fuck. There was a moment early in Audrina's childhood where Vera came in just to tease her and torture her for no reason. And she came in with a bunch of porn magazine tearouts. And she's like throwing them at Audrina.
And they're covered in glue.
Yeah, what's
so it
with
sticks to her hands?
Yeah.
Cool.
So
How did it not stick to Vera's hands, though?
magic, Vera magic. And she's looking at them, and Audrina's like, no, get out. Papa's going to see it. Oh, no. And they're probably his, because where else did those porn magazines come from?
I just assumed that Vera, like, shoplifted them. It just seemed like something she would do.
They do talk about Vera. Oh, yes. Actually, that is a point because Damien comes home one day and he's like, you were over at the pharmacy and you need to stop cutting crap out of magazines. So
Oh, okay. So Vera's shoplifting porn. Also,
Like
very
you do.
different and very telling of the age that we were in because it's magazines. And they hear Papa coming into the room, and Audrina starts, running to hide all of the porn, but it's sticking to her hands. And Dad comes in, and he gets really upset, and he figures out that Vera is the cause of this because his dear, sweet Audrina, not the first and best Audrina, but still a sweet Audrina, would never have done this. And he turns to Vera and makes her start eating the porn. Just like, here, eat it, you whore. Yeah, this is pretty
Yeah,
early.
he's like shoving it in her mouth and making her eat this like porn covered in glue.
Yeah.
Yep. And she's like, I don't wanna. So that was the moment that I was listening to, like as I'm walking into our offices in Chicago, that I'm like, I'm not listening to this. I don't know what you're talking about. Everything else was pretty traumatic and ridiculous, but I think that was my true what the ever loving fuck moment in that. Anyone else? I didn't see that on the list for anyone. Did that really speak to anyone?
Yeah.
It was rough. It was definitely rough.
Yeah.
And it's like reading that, I don't know. It's like, okay, this book and none of her books are particularly like plotted well, but God, the writing is so good. I could taste like the glue and like the glossy.
VC can write a
She
description.
can turn a phrase
Yes.
really well.
Yes.
R.I.P.
My goodness.
Not Andrew Niederman.
Not at all. Awesome.
This is like a short one that I didn't put on the list, but I was thinking about it because we were talking about her going to the cottage and talking to Billy. And like she never noticed that Billy didn't have any legs. But like she had very intimate conversations with her through the window. And I was like, how is it possible that she never like looked in the window and saw
They
that
say
she didn't
wore
have
big
legs?
dresses over
Oh,
it.
that's right. Okay.
Also,
that
I
makes
mean,
more sense.
Your
but-
girl is not very observant. She pays all of her
That's
attention to
true.
stained glass windows,
Stained glass windows, prisms.
wind chimes sometimes, but humans, no, not so much.
So she didn't even hear like a little squeak during their conversation of like a wheel rolling. Nothing.
Yeah. she's had numerous conversations through the window with her and never noticed that, like, oh, she's not just sitting in a chair.
Yeah.
No, not at all. All right, there are so many delightful what the fuck moments for us to cover next week on
And we'll be reading passages. And it'll be great.
on Who Let Me Read This. So everybody, next week, buckle in, maybe get a glass of wine or something to prepare for
A
this.
bottle, perhaps.
Box.
A box, yeah.
Put some bourbon in that tea.
Yes.
Yes.
Tea and bourbon for everyone.
Absolutely. If
I
any
think
of
we
our,
should do it also.
I didn't think of that. Yeah.
It's a Saturday afternoon. That's all right. If any of our listeners out there start hosting tea time, do send in pictures. We'd love to see that. Thank you very much to Sexy Hacker Studio for giving us this awesome space to record in. And go on their website, check out all of their other fun podcasts in the family and some sweet merchandise. Mandy, I was trying to read your shirt, but not stare and be inappropriate.
Oh, you can.
Nice.
Okay. This says, not now. I am very busy listening to true crime podcasts. If that ain't me.
So true. So very true. Awesome. So we will see you guys next time. Thank you very much to our guests today, Miss Michelle White, Sarah Wallish, Mandy Veeder, and Andrea Radel Schrader. I have to think about your name. I have to say it before I say it.
Just get a sign. It'll be fine.
I'll get better. My name is Laura Holterman. Thank you guys so much for listening to us today on Who Let Me Read This, and we will see you next week.
See ya.
Bye.
SexyHackers.com! Stream Team!